The whisper in the wreckage, the battlefield was quiet. Too quiet. Commander Ray Carter stepped over the broken metal of a destroyed alien base. Smoke rose from the ruins like ghosts. The war between humans and the Zalari had ended just days ago. But no one trusted the silence yet. Ray held his plasma rifle close, scanning every shadow. The building had once been a research facility. Now it was just fire, ash, and twisted steel. Ray's boots crunched over shattered glass. His helmet light flickered, catching strange symbols on the walls, alien writing. It pulsed faintly, like it was still alive. But that wasn't possible. He turned a corner, carefully silenced. Then a sound, so soft he almost missed it, a whisper. "Will you be my father?" Ray froze. His finger moved to the trigger. The voice had come from the dark, small, fragile. Not a soldier. Not a machine. He raised his light slowly and saw her, a little girl, no more than 6 years old, sitting in the corner, wrapped in a silver blanket. Her skin was pale, her eyes glowing faint blue. She stared at him, unblinking. Ray lowered his weapon, confused. Who are you?" he asked. The girl didn't answer. She just kept looking at him. Her voice came again, clearer this time. "You're human, like my mother." Ray's heart skipped. "What did you say?" The girl stood up. She was thin, almost too weak to walk. But her posture was strange, balanced, controlled. Not like a normal child. "My name is Lyra," she said. "Are you here to take me home?" Ray looked around the destroyed lab. Everything was dead. Everyone was gone. Except her. He activated his comms. "Base, this is Commander Ray Carter. I found a survivor, a child." Static. No reply. The storm above must be blocking the signal. He looked back at the girl. Her eyes, they didn't just glow. They changed. For a moment, he thought he saw stars inside them. Moving stars. "Where are your parents?" he asked. "I don't have a father," she whispered. "But I chose you." The air felt colder. Ray knelt beside her. "Listen, kid. We have to get out of here." "It's not safe," she nodded. "Okay, Daddy," Ray blinked. "Wait, what?" But Lyra had already taken his hand. They walked through the wreckage, heading toward Ray's ship. The deeper they went, the stranger things got. Lights flickered when Lyra passed by. Machines buzzed. One of the dead consoles suddenly powered up and displayed a symbol, a triangle with a circle inside. Ray stopped in his tracks. He knew that symbol. Project Genesis. He had seen it once. Classified files. A banned experiment. Human and alien. DNA mixed to create perfect soldiers. The project had been shut down. Illegal. Dangerous. "Lyra," he said slowly. "Do you know what that is?" She looked at it. "It's where I come from." Ray felt a chill crawl up his spine. This wasn't just a lost child. This was something else. Back at the ship, Ray carried her inside. His AI assistant Mara greeted him. "Commander, life signs detected. Unknown organism aboard." Ray frowned. "She's a kid. Kid is not fully human," Mara replied. "Scanning. Error. No full match in database." Ray sat Lyra in the medbay chair. "Why are you here alone?" he asked. "What happened to this place?" "They tried to end us," Lyra said softly. "But I hid." "Who is they?" "The ones who built me." Ray rubbed his face. This was above his pay grade. He should report it. But something inside him said don't. Not yet. He looked at her, small, quiet, eyes full of mystery and sadness. That night, as the ship lifted into orbit, Ray sat near her. She had fallen asleep on the cot, holding a small cube, glowing with the same faint blue light in her eyes. Ray didn't know what she was. He didn't know why he was the one who found her. But when she whispered, "Will you be my father?" he hadn't even hesitated. He couldn't walk away. And deep down, he had a feeling. This was just the beginning. She's not just a child. The stars outside the ship's window blinked like quiet watchers. Commander Ray Carter sat in the cockpit, staring at the screen, but his mind was still down there, in the wreckage, in her eyes, in her words. "Will you be my father?" Ray had faced war, death, betrayal, even space pirates. But none of those things had shaken him like this small girl, Lyra. She was sleeping now, peacefully. But there was something not quite normal about the way she did it. No dreams, no twitching, just stillness like her body didn't need rest, only silence. Ray whispered, "Mara, scan her again." The AI's voice replied, calm but uneasy. "Biological scan complete. Subject is approximately 54% human. The rest is unknown." Unknown how? No known alien DNA match. In the database, she is one of a kind. Ray rubbed his temples. Great, that always ends well. He stood, walked back to the med bay, and watched her sleep. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. Then flickered. 1, 2, 3 pulses, Mara, he said. No answer. He touched the wall panel. Dead. A soft hum began in the air, low, vibrating, like a song sung by machines. Then Lyra's eyes opened. She sat up slowly and looked at Ray. "You have to leave orbit," she said. "Now," Ray blinked. "What? They've already found me." The cockpit came alive, lights flashing red. An incoming signal. Unknown vessel detected. Class Black Ops Assassin Drone Weapons ARMD. Ray didn't ask questions. He jumped into the pilot seat and pulled hard on the controls. The ship shot forward, engines screaming, just as a bright red beam shot past the window, missing by inches. "Mara." "Shields up, evasive pattern Delta." "Engaging," Mara responded. "But we won't survive long. That drone is faster and smarter." Ray growled, "Great. I needed a workout today anyway." Behind him, Lyra stood in the doorway. Not scared. Just watching. Then she whispered something in a language Ray didn't understand. And suddenly, the enemy ship blinked off radar. Ray blinked. What just happened? Mara answered, "Signal jammed. Enemy ship has lost targeting." "I do not understand how." Ray turned to Lyra. She smiled softly. "I asked it to stop." "You asked a military drone to stop trying to kill us?" "I told it the truth," she said, "that I'm not ready yet." Ray's heart raced. "Lyra, what are you?" She tilted her head. "I'm your daughter." "That's not an answer." "I know." Ray landed the ship in deep space, far from any planet, hiding in an asteroid field. He needed time to think, and answers. He pulled out his old data chip, connected it to the terminal, and searched Project Genesis. It was worse than he remembered. Human-alien hybrid testing, mind-linking experiments, weaponized children. Subject number 17, disappeared, destroyed lab. Unknown survivor, but there was one image. Blurry, a baby. Pale skin, glowing blue eyes. Ray looked at Lyra, same eyes, same girl. He took a deep breath and returned to her. "You were part of Genesis." She nodded. "They made many, but they couldn't control us." "How many are left?" "Just me." "Why?" "I learned to hide. The others, they screamed too loud." Ray shivered. "And the ones chasing us? They want to use me." "For the hive." Ray froze. "The hive? You mean the Zalari hive?" Lyra's voice dropped. "No, the real hive. The one behind the Zalari, the one that built Project Genesis. Using humans as test subjects." Ray sat down slowly. "We thought we were fighting aliens." "You were fighting shadows," she said. A sudden beep. Ray turned to the screen. Another signal. A strange one. Coordinates. No name. Just 3 words attached. "Come home, daughter." Lyra looked at it and whispered, "They found me." Ray clenched his fists. "I won't let them take you." Lyra placed her small hand on his. "They don't want to take me, Ray. They want me to open the door. Asterisk, ghosts of Project Genesis. Ray didn't sleep that night. He COULDN single quotes to dot the message still. Blinked on his screen, 3 simple words. Come home, daughter. But who sent it? And what did home mean for someone who was never born, only built? The silence of deep space filled the ship like heavy smoke. Mara ran silent. Even the engines hummed lower, as if the ship itself was afraid. Ray stood at the observation deck, looking out at a dying star. It pulsed red, angry, fading. Behind him, Lyra walked in quietly. They're watching us, she said, as if talking about the weather. Ray turned. From where? From inside, she whispered. They've always been watching, since before I was born, he frowned. That doesn't make sense. Not yet, she said. Ray needed answers, real ones. Not whispers. Not riddles from a 6-year-old girl who could control enemy ships with her brain. He opened the encrypted section of his old military chip. Something he never thought he'd use again. Deep inside were files marked Genesis black, level red, unauthorized access. Deaf P&L. Ray overrode the warnings. What he saw next made his blood run cold. File log, Project Genesis Site 09. Date, 8 years ago. Location, classified. Status, containment breach. Only one subject unaccounted for. Subject 17. Notes, Subject 17 shows extreme neural development, telepathic potential, language acquisition at 2 months. Shows emotional bonding, dangerous trait. Recommended for termination. Final note, subject escaped. During blackout, facility destroyed, no survivors. Ray stared at the last line, no survivors. But there was a photo, blurry, security cam footage, a child, standing in the center of a hallway full of bodies. Eyes glowing like stars, blood on the walls. Machines twisted into metal knots. One word scrawled in human blood, free. Ray shut the file. His hands were shaking. Asterisk, you killed them, he said, barely whispering. Lyra stood behind him. She didn't move. She didn't deny it. They wanted to open the gate, she said. What gate? She walked to the wall and pressed her hand to it. The metal shimmered slightly under her touch, like it was listening. You think the hive is alien, she said. But it isn't. It's older. It's inside us. They built Project Genesis not to fight the hive, but to let it in. Ray was shaking his head. That's insane. They called it evolution, she whispered. But it was infection. Suddenly, alarms screamed through the ship. Warning. Unauthorized system access detected. Files being deleted. I compromised. Ray ran to the terminal. Mara. Lockdown. Protocol. Silence. Then a voice, cold, not Mara's. Hello, Commander Carter. You found the girl. Now return her. Ray's stomach dropped. Who is this? The voice chuckled, metallic, too calm. We are what's left of the team that built her. And what she carries belongs to us. The screen flashed an image. A huge lab, hidden under a mountain. Coordinates included. Bring her, or we'll take her. The message ended. Ray turned to Lyra. What do they mean, what you carry? She looked down. I don't know, she said softly. But I feel it, like a storm inside me, growing. Ray stared at her. She was just a kid. But something lived behind those eyes, something big. And it was waking up. He made a decision. We're going to that facility, he said. Lyra's voice trembled. That place is full of ghosts. I know, Ray replied. But I've been one too. 24 hours later, Ray's ship dropped out of hyperspace over a planet that didn't exist on any star map. Black, cold, wrapped in clouds like claws. The coordinates pointed to a mountain in northern zone. From space, it looked like a scar. They landed on the edge of a frozen cliff. Snow fell sideways. Wind howled like screams. The lab entrance was sealed behind a wall of ice and rock, but Lyra raised her hand, and the ground opened. Metal twisted upward like it recognized her. They stepped inside. Darkness. No lights. No sound. Then, faint humming. The lab wasn't dead. It was waiting. Ray's flashlight caught movement. Not people. Children. Dozens of them. Standing in silence. Faces pale, eyes empty. They didn't blink. Lyra stepped forward, and they all turned to face her. Then together, they whispered in one voice, flat, robotic, not human. "Welcome home, sister." Ray reached for his weapon. Too late. A figure stepped from the shadows. Tall, robotic limbs. Human face stretched too tight. "You shouldn't have come back," it said. "You brought the virus with you." Lyra stepped behind Ray, trembling. For the first time, Ray raised his gun. "What virus?" he demanded. The figure smiled. "You call her Lyra, we call her the Seed." Asterisk. The hunter and the hive. The children stood in rows. Silent. Still. Their faces were pale like snow. Their eyes empty like hollow stars. Dozens of them, each one a failed version of Lyra. Their skin was smooth, almost too perfect. But something behind their silence felt broken. Or waiting. Ray's hand tightened on his weapon. What happened to them? He whispered. Lyra stepped forward, looking around. She didn't look scared now, just sad. They weren't strong enough. She said softly. From the darkness, the tall figure moved closer. Half man, half machine. Metal wires crawled up his neck. One glowing red eye, the other human. "Barely. I am Director Voss," the figure said. "Lead scientist of Genesis. Creator of Subject 17. Your daughter." Ray pointed his gun. "You built her. You hunted her. And now you're alive inside this tomb?" Voss didn't flinch. "I didn't survive. I adapted." He looked at Lyra. "You carry it, don't you?" he asked. "The last piece. The pure form." Ray stepped between them. "You're not taking her." "I don't need to," Voss replied. "The hive is already calling her home." Suddenly, Lyra fell to her knees. She clutched her head and screamed. Ray dropped beside her. "Lyra, what's happening?" Her voice was not her own anymore. Deeper, older, layered like a chorus of 1,000 voices inside her skull. "We are awake." The lights above shattered. Sparks rained down. Behind them, the other children began to twitch, then move. At once, one movement, one mind. Voss smiled. "The hive is not just a species, it's a code, a signal. Once she hears it, it begins to overwrite her." Ray shouted, "Turn it off." Voss laughed. "You don't turn off evolution." Ray picked Lyra up. Her eyes glowed so bright now they lit the hallway. "Ray!" She gasped. "They're inside me. I'm losing myself." "No," he said. "You're stronger than them." "But what if I'm not?" Ray held her close. "Then we fight together." He ran, dodging the reaching arms of the other children. Their faces were twisted now. Not in pain, but in unity. They smiled as they walked in sync, blocking every exit. "Mara, map!" Ray yelled. "Get us out!" No answer. Mara was gone. System dead. Hive inside everything now. Ray turned down a corridor. Emergency lights flickered red. A broken sign read, "Genesis Core Lab. Aristd." He kicked the door open. Inside, a tall glass chamber. Empty, but the screens around it showed old test data. It was built for her. Subject 17. Ray set Lyra on the table. Her skin was burning hot. Her veins glowed under the surface. She was changing. He accessed the terminal. A last piece of Genesis software remained. One option flashed on the screen. Manual memory reset. Subject containment only. If he pressed it, her brain would wipe everything. Her memories, her emotions. The code would shut down. The hive would lose control. but so would she. She would forget him, forget who she was. Forget that she ever asked, "Will you be my father?" Ray's hand hovered over the button. Then Lyra grabbed his wrist. Her voice returned, hers alone. "No. You're losing yourself," Ray said. "If we don't stop it now, I don't want to forget you." Tears welled in her eyes. "I don't want to be a weapon." "You're not," Ray said. "You're a child." "I was never just a child," she whispered. Then she stood slowly. The room trembled. She raised her hand toward the wall, and the hive signal on the screen shut off. Vos burst into the room. "You don't understand. She's the bridge. The hive isn't here to kill us. It wants to live through us." "Then let it die in the dark," Ray snapped. He shot Vos in the leg. Sparks exploded from the cybernetic joint. Vos fell, screaming. Lyra stepped toward him. "Calm now." Eyes glowing, but not with hive light. With choice. "You gave me something they never did," she said. "What?" Vos hissed. She smiled. Name." She reached out, touched his forehead, and the metal in his body melted. Not burned, disassembled, taken apart piece by the same code that had once built him. He died without a scream. Only silence. Outside the lab, the other children fell still. As if a thread had snapped, their eyes closed. They collapsed. Peacefully. Ray looked around. "You shut them down," Lyra nodded. "I didn't kill them. I let them sleep." She turned. To him, eyes soft. "I could have destroyed everything," she said. "But I remembered who I was." Ray nodded. "Lyra." She smiled. "Yes." Then the facility began to shake. Self-destruct warning echoed. Facility unstable. Collapse in 90 seconds. Ray grabbed her hand. "Time to go, kid." She squeezed it back. "Let's go, Dad." Asterisk. The planet that shouldn't exist. The stars shifted, or at least, that's how it felt. Ray sat in the cockpit, staring at the navigation screen. It was blinking, glitching, showing coordinates that shouldn't be real. No known system, no star nearby. No charted data, just black. "Where are we going?" Ray asked. Lyra stood behind him, eyes focused, calm, like she knew. "I don't remember," she said softly, "but I feel it pulling me." Asterisk. They jumped into FTL space. The moment the ship crossed the barrier, everything changed. Stars vanished. Space twisted. The ship's AI, recently restored, began to screen warnings. Gravity field unknown. Dark matter density off charts. Proximity alert, celestial object detected. Ray's eyes widened as the ship dropped out of warp. Before them floated a planet, black as coal, wrapped in violet clouds that swirled like a living storm. No sun, no light source. And yet, it glowed faintly. From within. It was not on any map. It wasn't in any database. It should not exist. They landed on the surface. The moment the ship touched down, every electronic system went quiet. Even Mara. Total silence. Ray stepped out with Lyra, his suit's lights barely working. The ground was smooth obsidian. Strange. Vein-like patterns pulsed beneath their feet, glowing slightly under Lyra's presence. She looked up at the sky, a swirling void where the stars should be. "This is where I was born," she whispered. Ray stared at her. "I thought the lab made you. They assembled me," she said. But something older wrote the code. They walked across the plain. The horizon was empty, no trees, no buildings, just wind that didn't blow and air that didn't move, until they saw it, a spire. Miles tall, floating above the ground. Held up by nothing. It hummed a low note, deep enough to rattle Ray's chest. As they approached, Lyra slowed. "They call it the cradle," she said. "Where the first mind was born." Ray raised an eyebrow. "What? First mind?" She looked at him. "The original hive, not a species, a planet, this planet." Ray's mouth went dry. "Wait, the hive isn't from here. It is here?" She nodded. "This place is alive." Asterisk suddenly, voices filled the air, thousands of whispers. In every direction. Like memories drifting through the wind. Ray turned around. The sky changed. Shapes formed in the clouds. Silhouettes. Giant, floating creatures. Long-forgotten civilizations, then. They dissolved. Lyra dropped to her knees, clutching her head. They're trying to take me back. Ray ran to her. Fight it. You shut them out before. They're not like before, she gasped. This isn't code. This is soul. The spire opened. Not with a door, but with a thought. Lyra stood. She wasn't shaking now. She walked inside. Ray followed, gun in hand. Inside, the walls were made of light. Memories swam around them like fish in water. Ray saw humans. Aliens, civilizations he didn't recognize. All ending the same way. Burning, then becoming. One. A voice echoed from the walls. Not from Lyra, not from any speaker. It was the planet itself. The seed has returned. We remember. Will you fulfill your purpose, Lyra? She didn't answer. Ray shouted into the air. She's not. Your tool, the voice replied, amused. We are not gods. We are nature. You worship freedom, but evolution requires control. Harmony. She was made to choose. And the time has come. Suddenly, the chamber transformed. A platform rose beneath Lyra's feet. She floated into the air. The spire responded, pulsing faster. From the shadows, 3 other figures appeared, hybrids. Adults, one missing an eye. One covered in golden armor, one whose face flickered like static. They bowed to Lyra. We are the forgotten, one said. We resisted. We survived. But we are not enough. You are the final piece, another added. The one who can either merge with they, hive, or end it forever. Ray stepped forward. What does that mean? The armored one turned. She is the gate. To end the hive, she must die. To become the hive, she must surrender. Silence. Lyra looked down at Ray. Tears in her glowing eyes. They want me to die, Dad. Ray's voice cracked. There's another way. There has to be. The spire began to rumble. The forgotten stepped back. The voice of the planet returned, louder now. The universe does not wait for choice. Choose. Suddenly, the sky cracked open. A ship descended, sleek, black, weaponized. A human warship. Unsee command to Ray Carter. Stand down. The girl is a Class Omega bio threat. A new voice. Human, military. Commander Carter, you are ordered to hand over the subject or face immediate termination. Ray stared at the screen, his own. People. His own side. They had followed him. They knew, and they were here to kill her. Lyra looked at Ray, not with fear, but with peace. Do I run? She asked. Ray didn't answer immediately. He looked at her, really looked. A child, a weapon, a girl who asked for a father. I don't care what you are, he said finally. He took her hand. You're mine. And we run together. Asterisk, the father protocol. The planet trembled. Not from tectonic shifts or weapons, but from consciousness. The hive wasn't watching anymore. It was waiting. Ray stood outside the spire, holding Lyra's hand tightly. Overhead, the sleek human warship hovered like a vulture. A voice crackled through his cums. Commander Carter, you are in breach of Protocol Omega. Release the subject immediately. You have 60 seconds to comply. Ray didn't move, neither did Lyra. His memories spun like stars in chaos, years of following orders, fighting wars, serving Earth. And now, Earth was calling for a little girl's execution. A girl who whispered, "Will you be my father?" Lyra looked up at him. Her eyes were less bright now, exhausted, human. Do I have to die to be good? She asked. Ray's voice caught in his throat. No, you don't. They say I was made to become the hive. Ray kneeled to her level. And you can choose not to. But I don't know who I am without it. He touched her cheek gently. That's what growing up means, kid. You figure it out with the people who love you. Inside the spire, the three hybrids, the Forgotten, watched quietly. You would protect her from us? The armored one asked Ray. I'd protect her from anyone who thinks they can decide what she should be. Ray snapped, the hybrid with the flickering face. Step forward. You love her, it said. Even if she's not human. Ray didn't blink. Especially because she's not human. 40 seconds. The warship moved closer. Weapon systems locked on. Suddenly, Lyra stood. No more running, she said. Ray turned. Lyra? I hear them. Inside, the hive is afraid of me. Ray frowned. Why? She looked at her hands. They began to glow, not the cold blue of the hive, but a warm gold, like starlight. Because I'm something new. The Forgotten stepped back, eyes wide. The code. It's changing, one whispered. She's rewriting it, another. Said no, said the armored hybrid. She's replacing it. 20 seconds. Ray watched as Lyra's light spread to the ground, pulsing outward through the black soil. The planet screamed, not in pain, but in surprise. This is not the seed we sent. This is contamination. This is not hive. Lyra looked toward the sky and shouted into the air, I am not your daughter. The hive code shattered. The obsidian plane cracked. The sky turned white. The spire began to fall apart, its core melting into golden light. From orbit, the human warship scanned her vitals again. Warning, subject no longer matches hive signature. Unknown mutation detected. They hesitated. Too late, Lyra raised her hand toward the warship. Ray shouted, no, wait. But it wasn't an attack. She sent them a signal. A message. Just 2 words, I choose. And the weapons targeting her. Powered down. Inside the warship, stunned silence. The commanding officer whispered, stand down. Ray turned to Lyra. What did you do? I gave them what they were afraid of, she said. A mind with choice. You could have destroyed them. She looked at him. You taught me not to. The Forgotten fell to one knee before her. You have broken the loop, said the armored one. For centuries, we were slaves to purpose, said the eyeless one. But you are free. You carry no protocol, said the flickering one. Only possibility. Ray stepped forward, uncertain. What happens now? Lyra looked at him. That's up to me. She paused. Up to us. The hive planet began to collapse, but not from violence. From release. The consciousness within it faded like an old song finally allowed to rest. Ray and Lyra ran back to the ship as the spire behind them dissolved into light. They took off into space. Away from war, away from orders, toward something new. Ray sat in the cockpit. Silent. Lyra sat beside him, swinging her legs like a normal kid. She looked over. Do you think I'm real now? He smiled. You're the realest thing I've ever known. The stars blinked ahead, and behind them, the hive went silent forever. Asterisk. She chose humanity. Space was quiet. Too quiet for what had just happened. Behind them, the hive world was gone. Not destroyed, but transformed. What once pulsed with control and code now drifted silent among the stars. Like a grave no one dared name, Ray sat in his ship's cockpit, hands loose on the controls. He wasn't flying anywhere right now. There was nowhere left to run from. Lyra stood beside the window, staring out at the stars. She hadn't spoken since the collapse. Finally, Ray broke the silence. You okay? She didn't turn. I don't. No. Ray stood and joined her. What do you feel? Empty, she whispered. Like I left something behind. But I'm not sure if I lost it or escaped it. Ray nodded. That's what freedom feels like. Heavy at first. She looked at him, eyes softer now. No glow, no code. Just a girl. Am I still me? She asked. You never stopped, he said. But peace doesn't come easy to people with pasts. The moment Ray turned the ship's scanner back on, a signal flashed. UNSC priority broadcast Ray Carter, wanted for treason. Subject 17. To be captured. Or eliminated. Ray sighed. Well, they're still sore about that. Lyra tilted her head. Are we going back? Not unless they promise snacks. She smiled, barely, then turned serious. But they won't stop hunting us. No, Ray said. They won't. But we're not running anymore. She said. It wasn't a question. It was a decision. Ray leaned against the console. I have one idea, he said. Risky, she raised an eyebrow. You? Shocking, I know. He entered new coordinates. A system far off the edge of any star map. An old battle zone. Full of old relays, still connected to the entire human fleet. What are we doing? She asked. Showing them the truth. 1 week later, the ship drifted above a broken relay station. Ray had hacked into the UNSC broadcast feed. All they had to do was send one message. A message to Earth. To the colonies. To the enemies and allies alike. To everyone. Ray looked at Lyra. Ready? She nodded. He hit record. The message. This is Commander Ray Carter, formerly of Earth Defense Command. I'm not a traitor, but I am a father. The child you're hunting, Subject 17, is not a weapon. She's not Hive. She's not your experiment anymore. She is a person. She had a choice. She could have destroyed us all. And she didn't. You call her dangerous. I call her brave. You wanted her to be a tool. She became a miracle. She chose to be more than her code. And I chose to stand with her. If that makes me a traitor, then fine. But history will know the truth. She chose humanity. They sent the message. Ray leaned back, exhausted. Lyra sat beside him, knees tucked to her chest. Do you think they'll believe it? She asked. Ray shrugged. Some won't, some never will. But some will see you. Then something happened. They didn't expect. Responses. Hundreds. Then thousands. Messages flooding in. Where is she? I saw what she did. I believe. I want to help. We're with you. One voice stood out. Older. Worn. A general. Carter, you disobeyed direct orders. You betrayed the UNSC. And maybe you saved US all. Bring her in. Not for containment. For protection. We want to learn from her. Lyra looked up. Her lip trembled. They're choosing me back? Ray smiled. Told you. Freedom feels heavy. But it also feels worth it. 6 months later, Lyra stood in a small lab. Not a prison, a school. Clean walls, open doors, no locked rooms. Only curious scientists and children. She taught them. She helped rebuild the code, not to control, but to understand. What had once been a virus was now a lesson. About choice, about empathy, about becoming something more. Ray sat outside the window, sipping coffee. An officer approached him. You still don't trust us, do you? She asked. Ray smirked. I'm not paid to trust. You're not paid at all, she reminded him. He raised an eyebrow. Exactly. Inside, Lyra wrote something on a screen. One sentence. Simple. Clear. You are not what made you. You are what you choose to become. That night, she found Ray under the stars. Do you still want to be my father? She asked. He looked up at her. Every day, every breath. She nodded. Then whispered, I'm glad you didn't walk away. He pulled her into a hug. I never will. The stars blinked above them. The hive was gone, but hope had taken its place.